Hello everyone, and welcome to The Reading Alchemist. So, this video is going to be my TBR video for the month of April. So, before we get into the draws for this month, because I do not have my TBR game finished, it's going to take me way longer than I thought, so we are still going to be doing the random TBR draws that I did last month for March and what I did also for February. However, before we get into the TBR for this month, I should tell you guys, not tell you guys if I managed to complete all the books for March. And I am very happy to report that I finished all the books on my required TBR for the month of March. As you can see by my bullet journal, I used this sort of reading tracker where I write the book title and I write the page count in 50-page increments, and then I list the last page. And as you can see, all of the boxes are filled in, meaning that I read every single book I was supposed to, which is great. So, I'm not going to give you guys star ratings or what, and I'm also not going to give you guys a final page count because I'm actually kind of reading a book right now just for fun that's not on my TBR, because I actually finished my TBR for the month of March on March 27th, and we're now on March 29th and we still have time left, so I figured I would still read and I just choose whatever I want. So yeah, I'm currently reading It Devours right now by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Cranor, which is the second book in the Welcome to Night Vale universe. I have actually read this book before. In fact, it is a triple reread for me, but I wanted to reread it because I want to see what rating it would get within the call pile system. So that's why I'm rereading it. And I really like Welcome to Night Vale. I've been listening to the podcast for a couple of years right now, and I'm not one for podcasts, but this podcast is fiction, so that's why I'm really enjoying it. So, yeah, let's get into the draws. As of April, there's only one readathon, and it actually happens this weekend on Saturday. Jade from J.D. Ray Rees is hosting a 24-hour readathon on Saturday, April 3rd. I, of course, actually work on Saturday, so I won't be able to participate for the full 24 hours. I don't even know if I'm going to, pull an all-nighter to participate in the 24-hour readathon yet. I haven't fully decided, but I will most likely read during my waking hours, and I'll probably stay up as late as I can to read. As of required books to read this month, I actually don't have any books that I really want to read this month. So, yeah, let's get into draw number 1 for TBR. Now, I actually don't know how many books are in here, but I'm still working on my TBR, and the TBR will always probably be a constant work, but as of this moment, I'm doing TBR work for building my TBR game. So I actually don't know how many are in here, but there should be enough to get me through for a while. So yeah, let's do draw number 1. This one. Okay, and the first book that I drew out of the box is, probably can't see it, is Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, which is very fitting because I read Shadow and Bone this month, in the month of March, and to be reading Siege and Storm, which is the second book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. It is the second book in her Grishaverse, so yes, I am very excited to continue on with the series actually soon after I've read the first book, so this will be the first book I've read for the month. I'm going to read for the month of April. Let's get on with the second draw. Okay. The second book that I have chosen to read, well, it came out as to read Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, which I do want to read and we'll get to. However, I would like to finish reading The Infernal Devices for this reread before I read Chain of Gold. So, the second book I will be reading in the month of April is going to be Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, which is the third book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. I have read this book before. This is a reread for me. It won't probably take me very long to read it. Yeah, since it's a reread, I will most likely be listening to this book on audio and probably doing my painting or my paint by number or my diamond painting or just watching TV kind of while I do it. So, yeah, that is book number 2. Let's get on. Let's get on with book number 3. I'm trying to shuffle this as much as I can. Okay, and the third book that I'm going to be reading during the month of April is going to be Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. Veronica Roth is the author of the Divergent trilogy, which I have only read the first book in that series. Not that I don't want to continue with the rest, but I haven't read it in a while. But I most likely will read it later. This book is actually the first book in a new series written by her. It is an adult, I think it's an adult, I'm actually on the Goodreads page right now trying to look at the summary for this book. Okay, so it's an adult dystopian fantasy, it looks like. I think there are demons in it, so I think it's an adult dystopian post-apocalyptic fantasy series. I did. So, yeah, I'm actually very excited to read this book. I haven't read a book by Veronica Roth in a couple of years, so yeah, I'm actually very excited to read that book. Let's get on with book pick number 4. Alright, and the 4th book I'm going to be reading in the month of April is going to be This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mutar and Max Gladstone. This book sounds like it's another post-apocalyptic fantasy style book. I've also heard that this book is... I think it's queer. It's essentially about 2 rival agents working on 2 different sides of the war. I think it's like a Time War type fantasies type style of book. It's actually fairly short. I've heard a lot of great things about this book. I've heard that a lot of people really like it, so I am very excited to read this book in the month of April. And now for the final book pick. I'm only going to choose 5 books per month because with the way my reading goal is set up, I think 5 is a good number. Plus, it allows for there to be wiggle room within the month in case something happens and I'm unable to read. So yeah, let's choose my final book of the month. And the final book that I'm going to be reading in the month of April is Jin City by Saad Hossein. So this book is about this kid who's living in Bangladesh, which is somewhere in the Middle Eastern country, and apparently, I know it has to deal with genies or jinn. So some sort of fantasy, maybe a little bit post-apocalyptic, but I think this book is... So, from what I'm looking here on Goodreads, it seems that this book is fantasy, maybe urban fantasy, and I do like supernatural sort of creatures and that. So yeah, I'm very excited to read this book. I haven't actually heard a lot of people about that, but when I was going through Scribd one day looking for books, this book did sound interesting, so I added it to the list to read, and now it's been picked, so I am looking forward to reading this book within the month of April. So, yeah, to recap all the books that I'm going to be reading for the month of April, we have Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. We have Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. We have Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. This is How You Lose the Time War by Mal El Mutar. And Jin City by Saad Hossein. I wish I actually had a physical copy of all these books to show you the stack, but I don't. However, these slips of paper are real, so you guys do know I'm on reading. And of course, throughout the month, my reading taste might change and stuff, so I might get to more books than this per month, but these are all the books on my required TBR for the month of April. Therefore, you guys will get a reading vlog for all of these books. Yeah, I'm very excited to read these books for the month of April. I'm excited to start some new series. One new series, continue with another, and do a bunch of standalones. And yeah, that is going to be this video. Please remember to give this video a like and subscribe for more bookish content from me. And remember, we are the one within the all.